Hey, everybody. Good morning. Sunday morning here in sunny California. Yes, indeed. Music Therapy Laz here with Roxy. Hello, my YouTube and gear and guitar and musical equipment nerd friends. Yes, that's what we're talking about today. Got the idea partially from Phil McKnight on his Friday show. So if you guys don't watch Phil, I should have put him up. I'll put him up in the description. Um, yeah, Phil McKnight just kind of like glossed over a little bit of the fact that we are all nerds. Nerds. What's up, JJ James, my buddy? You're a nerd too, right? We're rocking nerds. That's what we are. I'm wearing a hat today because it's springtime, baby. That's right. I think today's the first day of spring, isn't it? Let me look that up. I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna look it up. What's going on, man? Yes, first off, rock on, everyone. Nerds can rock. So I don't know if you guys ever saw the movie back in the 80s, but there have been like redos of that in various forms. And yeah, the Revenge of the Nerds, right? But I called the show today the Revenge of the Gear Nerds because, like Pete Thorne too, he does the what is his first album was called Guitar Nerd or something like that. Because like since he was a kid, he's total geek, man. I'm a total nerd geek. Let me look this up. When was that? Revenge of the Nerds. I think it was like in the 80s, right? Revenge of the Nerds film series. This is a whole series, right? Well, here's a great picture. I should have put this up as the thing, right? It's not focusing. Whatever. Anyway, we don't even need to focus on that. But yeah, we're all nerds, and bottom line to me too is that we get lost in this stuff. Like they call it the rabbit hole of gear, right? You get totally lost in this, and I think Henning too was talking. He's a total. He even looks like a nerd. He's an awesome nerd. Hey, what's up, Blackjack Guitar Nut? Roxy's here. She's not a nerd though. She's so cool. She's way more cool than a nerd. Nerds are cool. Hey, Quentin, what's up? You're a guitar nerd, right? Aren't we all? We nerdizzle out on this stuff. I mean, did guitarists back in the 80s or 90s care about this stuff, like measuring like the widths? And no, they just went and bought a guitar, felt good. They're like, yeah, that looks cool. I want to play that. They just picked it up and played it. But we've taken this to a whole new level. Look at this. We've got gadgets like this freaking thing. I mean, why? Yeah, it makes it a little bit faster. A little. Does it really matter? Do we really need it? Look at all this crap I have. I even have it labeled like a nerd. Look at that guitar maintenance kit. Right, I got all my guitar maintenance stuff in here. I got my little snippers. I got my little, which grit to use on my micro mesh pads to polish my frets. I've got my little polishing thing. I got my little fret edge, dressing StuMac tool. I've got, oh my God, I've got. This is the most nerdiest thing. If this is not the nerdiest thing there is, this stuff is the most nerdiest stuff you can possibly pay way too much for. Big Ben's nut sauce. I mean, only a nerd is gonna buy that. Why? Because some other nerd told me to buy it. Because he said that's the best stuff. And then I see Mike, China Mike, Guitar Skeptic Mike. I see him using Vaseline on the nut of a guitar to show you that Big Ben's nut sauce is basically super expensive Vaseline. Oh yeah, you want to see organized, man. I mean, look at this. This is Nerdsville. Look at this. I got like a bookcase with stuff. I've got my gear out here. I mean, it's Nerdsville over here. But I mean, what real rock and roller has his stuff disorganized? Oops, let me get that right. I'm just being funny. I know, nerds rule. So today's episode, yes, it's all about being a nerd. It's all about nerding out. And I was a nerd when I was a kid too, you know. And just like in the Revenge of the movie, the movie Revenge of the Nerds, I think that was the first one, right? Wasn't it called Revenge of the Nerds? Because they got revenge on the jocks, or on the whatever they call them, the preppies. We called them the preppies and jocks when I was in high school in Colorado. We lived in Colorado for 4 years of my life. Hey, what's up, Martin? So yeah, we lived in Colorado for those 4 years, and with a name like Laszlo, I mean, how nerdy can you get, right? Even though Laszlo was the greatest king of Hungary and was known as the best knight in Europe, he was like the epitome of knighthood in his day. And oddly enough, Ladislaus, as he was known, translates to Lancelot. Isn't that ironic? Hey, Han Solo, what's up, man? Han's a nerd. Blackjack Guitar Nut's a nerd. Look at that name, Blackjack Guitar Nut. That's a nerdy name, man. Quentin James. He should be Quentin N. James, not F. James, for Quentin Nerd James. Who uses equipment like this? Look at this stuff. Look. Look at this crazy thing. If I had it plugged in, you'd see there'd be like all kinds of nerds have taken over. Oops. Almost fell down, sorry. Nerds have taken over rock and roll. That's why guitar is dead. It's not cool anymore, man. You gotta be like a rapper or something with some gangsta shit going on to be cool anymore. You gotta be talking about wet ass peepees and stuff. You gotta take it to that next level to really be cool now. You know, you can't just be some rock and roller dude. Yeah, no one does drugs like cocaine and stuff anymore, right? Do they? I mean, we're all nerds. Nerds have taken over the industry. Look at this. I mean, we've got a guy who makes Levi's jeans running Gibson now. What the? I mean, okay, I get it. He plays guitar too. Anyway, I'm just making fun. But yeah, you guys, tell me in the chat what you think of what's happened to rock and roll and guitar and stuff. I mean, is it because of the nerds that we've lost it? Yeah, right. Look at this little nerdy little girl here. Might as well be wearing like a pocket protector. You know, she would fit right inside of my pocket, like a pocket protector bird. Here, let me adjust this. This is freaking me out here. Let's get this right, Laz. You nerd. Oh God. There you go. Hope that didn't make too much noise. Yeah, so yeah, I've been nerding out too much. You know, what's funny is some other nerd friends of mine, like I'll spend hours listening because I'm working or whatever. So hey Dale, I'm not gonna yeah, join the fellow Nerdsville here. Right? There you go. Bonamassa too. Guy even looks like a nerd. All right, maybe not so much when he's rocking out on stage, but kind of nerdy looking. And what does he call his like palace of rockdom? All his amps and guitars. He could have called that, you know, something completely else. You know, something different, something else. What did he call it? He called it Nerdsville, because he knows. He knows. We all know. We're nerds. I mean, look at this stuff. Check this out. Look at this Tessie switch thing that I got. Look at my shirt. Tessie switch too. Of course, I'm wearing a Tessie switch. Tessie switch. I gotta adjust this. I want to get this so that it's right. There we go. I'm going to move this back. There we go. Better? A little bit better, yeah. So you can see the Tessie switch. So, you know, how nerdy is that, right? No, I've been busy working, and then I actually worked the full day yesterday. So if any of you guys caught my Where is Frankenvan video yesterday, I posted up. I made a mistake because previously I was helping LaDaney with my wife with a video. And I don't know, somehow I didn't have it set public, and I had it set unlisted, and so it didn't go up. Hey Nelson, it didn't go up right away, and I didn't notice until later in the evening that that video hadn't even gone up. And I'm like, what? So I had to go back in and change that. You know, I had to get all nerdy with a computer and, you know, and change that. He was not in Neverland. Hey, how you doing, Nelson? Really, being nerdy became popular. Well, Casper, yeah, right. Well, you know, some of it has to do with, you know, games, video games, and gamers, and making games, and people that are sitting around in a room in front of a computer all day. That used to not. No, you cannot go down my shirt, Rox. No, you have to stay outside. You know, that used to be nerds. That used to be the room where the nerds were hanging out, right? They were hanging out, playing video games. I remember my first year in high school, a freshman year. I signed up for a computer science class because I thought, oh, computers, that's cool. You know, they use computers on the rocket ships to the shuttle to the moon and blah, blah, you know. And I was always interested in that. And I knew because of my left eye, I'd never be able to fly up there or anything like that. But, you know, not as a scientist or something. Not, well, maybe as a scientist, but maybe I should have become a scientist. Anyway. But yeah, you know, not I was interested in computer science not because I was, you know, necessarily a nerd, or was I? I had the math background and stuff. I was good enough at math and all that. And I used to read a lot. I used to read, and I built plastic models, and I made things, and I drew, and I did, you know. So, but aren't we all nerds, really? You know, that's what that Revenge of the Nerds. Runny noses. Yeah, I got tissue right here, buddy. That's so funny. You know, yeah, and the nerds were always the ones who had some kind of illness or something. You know, they were always at home, and their parents dressed them, you know, in high school. I remember I got my first job so I can buy my own freaking clothes because I didn't want to wear that stuff my dad and my mom was buying me. I wanted to wear OP, if you know what that is. Hobie and Hobby or Hobie. I call them Hobie, OP, all that stuff back in the 80s. That was the thing. Ocean Pacific was the name of that brand, you know. Oakley, you know, all that stuff. Nowadays it's like you know, what's the stuff people wear today? I mean, we were wearing Vans back then too. So Vans are still cool. They're still cool. I got some Vans over here. Got them all over. Anyway, I almost bought another pair last week, but I changed my mind. I want to get a custom pair of. I'm gonna have them made if I can do that. If they'll make them the way I want them to make them. I want to have some Eddie Van Halen ones done, like red and white striped Vans. I'm sure they'll make them, right? So just watching Malcolm in the Middle with my kids and how the intelligent ones got battered. That was totally the case. Yep. Yeah, you know, the nerds got bullied, but. Like in that movie, Revenge of the Nerds, if you ever saw that movie. If you haven't seen that movie, watch it. It's a classic. But what's great is, you know, the nerds in the end kind of won over everyone because they used their smarts, right? And they took over the world in essence. I mean, look, they really have. I mean, look what, you know, all these people. Look at who's the most richest people and the most powerful people. Bill Gates, you know, who's that Facebook kid? All, you know, these nerd dudes, you know, and we've all fallen for it. We're all nerds. But yeah, what they proved in the end in that movie is that aren't we all nerds? Haven't we all been picked on one way or another? Haven't we, you know? Anyway, but bullied and whatnot. You know, I remember one time in middle school, I was being bullied when I moved to Colorado from California. I was being bullied, but there was this kid who was bullying everybody, so I didn't feel bad. It was like I was ready to kick his ass, actually. You know, because my dad had us take karate when we were like, I was 8. So he was into kung fu. And he took a form of kung fu called bak fu. And he was a weightlifter. So he was pretty badass. But he never like taunted it. You know, he never hurt it. He always showed everyone how you can like grasp and grapple and hold people and put them down on the ground by grabbing their finger like this. And yeah, you know, and then you got them on their hands and knees begging you to stop, you know. Things like that, and he knew all these like kung fu Bruce Lee moves, and then we were all into all that stuff too. So we were kung fu nerds as well. But yeah, and I'm not wearing my tone toque anymore because it's springtime now, right? That's what I was gonna look up. But yeah, I think what really got nerds more popular too is not just those movies and stuff, but then you had like look at Devo. Look, those guys look like nerds. Check this out. Here's that album. I still have it out. I mean, if that doesn't like saying nerds, I don't know what does, right? And then of course, what became popular? Video games and computer stuff, and you have to be a nerd, man, to be able to write that stuff and get in. And all the good jobs started to go towards computer science and all that nerdy stuff, And then of course, we had Doctor Who. I think Doctor Who was another one of those shows that, if you ever watched that, started to get make nerd things nerdy cool. That was a show that some of us nerdy kids would watch, back in the 80s. The original Doctor Who, the old big dude with the curly hair. Anyway, yeah, so you know what, Nelson? But was that your fault, or did your teachers just suck? Because in my mind, from my experience in school, yeah, Nerd Halen. Where's Nerd Halen? He should be here. In my mind, I think the problem with our educational system is that it doesn't do what it should do, which is to teach people to succeed and to bring out of them their greatest potential, whatever it is, not to mold them into a specific type of person the way they want them to be, and that you should do this, that. That I don't think is good educating. That's not educating people. It's making people fill a box, fit into a box. And I was a smart kid, but I didn't get good grades either because I didn't care about the crap they were trying to teach me. It was inconsequential to me. And I took all kinds of classes in high school because I went to a good high school in Colorado, and you got to choose your classes. And I took architecture, I took auto shop, all these things that I was interested in. I didn't have to take a drawing class because I knew how to draw and paint already. Yeah, and I took that computer science class, but I actually didn't continue on in the computer science thing because there were a bunch of nerds there. They were all interested in how they can create, they had the dot matrix printers back then, and that's how everything was done. And they were using Pascal and Fortran. That was the original languages before C++ and anything else came out, And those were the original languages that were used. And they were creating and making this game where they were launching, catapulting, rock or whatever, catapulting from one to another. And they were creating a game, and they were typing all this stuff out to make it. And I thought, God, this sucks. This is sitting there all day just typing this thing out to make this one thing go like that, and that's it. And I'm like, God, but I didn't get it back then. I was 14, and I didn't know, if you want to play Tetris or any of these cool games, video games that they were all popping out back then, you have to create these codes to make all this stuff graphically happening on the screen, right? And they didn't explain that well enough to me. Yeah, I didn't feel tardy. I'd go to class so stoned sometimes it was ridiculous. The after lunchtime classes that I had suffered because we would go, have our lunch break or whatever, and we'd probably skip a class after that or whatever, and then if I showed up to a class after that, I'd be like, just barely there. Yeah, we are not men, we are Devo. Actually had some cool, yeah, I had some good teachers too, like my earth science teacher, Mr. Burke. I still remember his name. My English teacher, Mrs. Lake, I remember her. Everyone else, forgot them because they didn't really care. Hey, Guitar Hack, Rax Effects, what's up, dudes? Nerds Unite. Yeah, Halt and Catch Fire TV series. Oh, for nerds? Okay, I'll check it out. The Halt and Catch Fire. Interesting. Hey, Gary, Big G, what's up? Let me show you guys Roxy, because she's going to sleep here on the computer. No sleepy time, Roxy. You're the star of the show. That's right. Bite me. Go ahead and bite me. Roxy, are you an owl? Are you a nerd? No. Okay, there you go. Come here. What's up, you guys? So, yeah, so I've been nerding out too much, and that's another interesting thing. Another one of our guitar nerd friends out there, what's his name? God, now his name. Ow, damn it. Roxy, get away from me. Go away. Go. Leave. Stop biting. Anyway, what's his name? God, it's slipping my mind. The guy who does the 5-watt world thing. Anyway, someone will know. No, then it'll come to me right then. But Wyatt, right? Isn't it Wyatt of 5-watt world? Or am I totally blowing it? Roxy, you just poop on my computer. You did. Oh my God, that's so gross. Look. Oh, now her tail's touching it, and it's wiping all over everything else. Give me your tail. Yeah. That was gross. Roxy, why do you do that to me? Anyway, man, I need a second coffee. Anyhow, so yeah, Wyatt too. I mean, he's been nerding out on the whole like less is more kind of thing, right? And I'm starting to think like him a little bit because I've got a lot of gear here and I don't use it all as much as I'd like to be using it because I don't have as much time as I'd like. But I've built this up over years, so this has been 10 years in the makings, you guys. You know, I didn't just go out and buy all this in one day. And it's been like slowly I gather another thing and another thing. Like I bought that guitar from, check this nerdy thing out. I mean, it looks cool, but it's still pretty nerdy too when you think about it, because only some nerdy dude, like Leo Fender, the first guitar nerd, right? Leo Fender didn't even play the guitar. He just designed things. Now, I mean, look at this thing. I mean, only a nerd would design something like this, right? I mean, who would think of, oh, if you need, you know, 7 strings, you're going to have that lower register, you're going to have a longer string there. We got to do this multi-scale, you know, fan fret kind of design. So that, I mean, like, way too much thought into that. That's not even rock and roll. But it looks rock and roll, right? So anyway, yeah. So what are you guys writing here? So Martin, let's see what do you guys think of what's it like being a nerd? And it's like, does anyone in your family understand you at all about all this gear and all this stuff? Hell no. They think you're some kind of a weird guitar nerd, right? To be honest, because you're not out there rocking, are you? Or you a rock and roller out there really rocking like Guitar Hack and like Gary? You know, I actually even wrote a song, and I haven't, you know, produced it and completed, but I'm planning to have some of this stuff done this year. And it's all about this. It's about this. It's about being a bedroom rocker. That's the name of the song, basically. It's all about how all I want to be is a bedroom rocker. I don't want to go on tour no more. You know, I don't want to live on a bus. I don't want to, you know, have no family, have no life. I want to be a bedroom rocker where I can just pretend I'm a rocker. You know, how nerdy is that? That's like the nerdiest thing. Yeah, I'm ranting. I know I'm ranting, right? Yeah, we're guitarded. Exactly. Hey, Warren Graham, music 50 and 51, 50 lover, right on. Yeah, thanks for joining, dude. I don't think I've seen your name. Please subscribe. That's so nerdy. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, guitar. I have 69 guitars. See, there you go. There you go, man. So he's way ahead of me. I'm only like around 12 right now. Only. I'm gonna have to buy a bigger house. get a bigger boat. But yeah, so we're all nerds, right? 69 guitars. Yeah, I wouldn't change that number, dude. Stick with 69. That's so cool. It's like the best year. 69, one of the best years in rock history. 69, the year of my 69 Charger, which is probably the coolest year for cars as well, for American, like, you know, muscle cars anyway. 1969. 69, I wouldn't say it's the best position in the world, but it's a pretty good position. Yeah, it's not the best. It's pretty good. And what else is good about 69? Yeah, the flower power era, that whole, you know, peace, love, peace pop, microdot, if you know what microdot means. You're not as nerdy as you think. But anyway, but that's another thing too. Today's nerds, believe it or not, the top nerds of our computer industry out here in Silicon Valley, especially, I've read plenty of articles. There were articles about this years ago in Rolling Stone magazine even. 69 Camaro. I had a 69 RT Charger, Han Solo. No joke. That was the first car I bought with half my own money and half my dad's and mom's money. $5,000. I bought it from a friend of my mom's husband who they were getting divorced, and he sold his 69 RT Charger to me. Yeah, it was a great car, and I've been trying to get it back somehow or another. I want it back. I want another. I keep trying to enter that Resto Mods thing. Do you know that Resto Mods? I even have the shirt. Let me show you this. This is nerdy. This is a different kind of nerdy. This is like Mopar and music, not music nerdy, but oh God, where is it? Oh my god. I think it's in the other room. I know it's somewhere. I got this closet full of nerdy stuff. Anyway, it's in the other room, damn it. Anyway, yeah, I have this 69 RT Charger burning out, and that's the picture. Anyway, mine was like a sparkly, translucent blue over pearl finish that looked like it glowed blue in the light at night. It was bitching. The guy had all this stuff done to it because he was that was a big time car nerd too. I read all the hot rod magazines. I built all the plastic models. And my dream car was a 69 SS Camaro actually, and I wanted to get one. And I came that close. But the guy was in Monterey, and I was trying to buy it from Wheels and Deals down here in San Bruno. And he didn't want to come up to sign the papers. And my mom were like, we're leaving. So we have to go back to Colorado. And I'm like, God damn. So my dad's like, well, there's this yellow Chevelle, 69 yellow Chevelle with black stripes. So it looked too much like a bumblebee thing to me. So I was like, nah. So I go back to Colorado with no car, and that was not the plan. But then my mom, later that year, later summer, what happens? This guy, Steve, he sells me this 69 RT Charger for $5,000, and he had all kinds of work done to it too. He was a regional Snap-on sales manager for the region in Colorado, whatever that area. And so he would do deals with the shops to do work on his car. And so yeah, it was fun. And I bought so many tires for that car because I kept burning them out. It was so fun. We used to drag race that on Colfax Avenue in Aurora, Colorado, and an old county road heading out to Chatfield Reservoir from where we lived in Inglewood and Cherry Hills, and went to Cherry Creek High School. That's where I went. But yeah, we can go to places now. Things are opening up here in California because we shut it all down, and I guess that was a smart play because now everything's opening up and people are getting their shots. So it's mostly still indoor dining, but there are places where you can outdoor dining. But there are places where you can do indoor dining now. But masks are still required. In a sense. It's not a law. Like you're not going to get arrested if you don't. Like people over exaggerate this California stuff elsewhere in the country. I think it's kind of California is cool, you guys. Yeah, it's expensive. That's because everyone wants to live here, and you've got demand goes up, prices go up, right? So it's a great place to live. I would never move away from California again, unless I bought a place in like maybe Sedona, Arizona, or some cool place like that. But I like being close to the ocean, even though in Livermore, where we were an hour away from the ocean, really. But from the bay, we're pretty close, but we can get to the ocean in about an hour and a half at the most. So yeah, and we're actually pretty same drive to Santa Cruz distance-wise from when we were in San Mateo, really. So we can get there about the same time because of the way we can get there. So yeah, love it here. So what do you guys riding? Yeah, my cousin Art got a 69 Camaro. Yeah, it was a good muscle car, dude. Yeah, I think I agree with you, though I like the Corvettes better. So I think the Corvettes. I love Corvettes, but I never thought I could get one. But the 69 Camaro, the SS Camaros, I agree. Mustangs too, the fastbacks, the Machs. Remember the Mach 1 and all that stuff back in the early 70s? Those were badass as well. And then you had, remember the Pantera? Those were cool cars, man. When you had I used to read all those magazines. I used to get the I don't know if it was Motor Trend or what it was, but I used to buy these. I was like 10, 11 years old, and I'd be buying these car magazines. I'd have pictures of Ferraris and stuff all over my wall. I was so into cars, big time. That's why I took auto shop for a whole year, and I realized, yeah, Chevelle. See, that's so cool, roadies. So my dad was saying, hey, why don't you get that yellow 69 Chevelle, the SS Chevelle? And I didn't want a Chevelle. I just didn't like the big body. I kind of like the smaller looking, one. My brother John, actually, he had a Nova. and then he bought a Cougar later. He had a Cougar. That was a cool. It was a 68 Cougar, and I think his Nova was it was a late 60s Nova as well. Yeah, but the Shelbys were badass. Exactly, Han Solo. Yeah, and in you know, one of those Cobras, one of those AC Cobras, dude, that would have been the shit. But of course, that was like a race car. You couldn't, you know, back then. Yeah, Hot Rod magazines was a car nerd. Yeah, exactly. So I was a nerd. Period. I was a nerd in whatever I was into. I was a nerd about it. You know, I used to be a nerd about Star Wars. Everything was the Force. I was like, and then I was also into. I was a Kiss nerd too. I got way into Kiss in the late '70s, and then I discovered stuff like Van Halen and stuff like that. I discovered them, but I was like so into Sabbath and Randy Rhoads and all that stuff, you know, Ozzy. I got so into that, you know, and then of course, you know, Zeppelin, The Who, and I like Van Halen, but you know, when you saw all those videos and stuff, I just got turned off to that whole spandex thing. I didn't get it. I mean, I'm sure the girls loved it with Dave shaking his ass with his striped spandex and all that shit, but to me, I just wasn't into it, and I liked the music, sure. I mean, one of my favorite albums of those times was 1984. Or what am I talking about? Was Diver Down, and then you know 1984, of course, and all that stuff. But Diver Down was one of my favorite albums musically. I love that thing. But I also had AC/DC, you know, We're About to Rock, For Those About to Rock, or whatever. I had that one. I had Back in Black. I had ZZ Top's Eliminator. I loved that album too, even though it was a departure from some perspective. People, you know, didn't like how they got more poppy, but the guitar playing and the music was freaking great, and the videos were awesome. You know, and I got into the Cars. That was kind of a nerdy band in a way, you know, but they were cool. You know, not like in the 70s. The 70s, you didn't see like nerdy looking people in bands at all. You know, the 80s, you had all that new age, new wave stuff with the synthesizers and everything. And I was into synthesizers, so that was another nerdy side of me. Is, you know, I didn't have one until I was 18, but because we couldn't afford one. But when I moved back to California, I left, you know, living with my mom and stuff. We didn't have the money for it, and she even sold the baby grand piano that I used to play every day. I could kill her for that. I wish I had that thing. But anyway, yeah, Doctor Who, dude, nerd heaven, right? I used to watch that. We used to watch Doctor Who and eat club crackers with peanut butter and jelly and Nestea iced tea, and watch Doctor Who all day on Channel 9 or whatever the KQED channel was. The public broadcasting station had all the nerdy, had all the nerdy stuff, right? Anyway, I'm shaking the table and the camera. Sorry. Yeah, but I was so 72 Nova SS pumped with 3. Yeah, there you go, buddy. Right on. See, so my brother had, I think his was a late 60s Nova. And I had it painted by a friend of mine, well, a friend of my mom's really, but I worked for them for a while. His name was Laszlo as well. Yeah, but yeah, it was brown. And then, yeah, Star Trek, dude, we grew up on Star Trek, you know. Da, 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 da. The first show to have a black and white woman. That would have been interesting. Having a black woman and a white man kiss was on Star Trek. Captain Kirk kissing Lieutenant Uhura. That's right. Anyway, breaking the color barrier and all that bullshit. Yeah, I'm so against any racism, by the way. I'm very, very open when it comes to. I think there's one race, the human race, and we should all get with that. Anyway, I'll get off that soapbox. But yeah, Star Trek, dude. Total nerds. And my mom was, if you saw a picture of my mom back then, nerd, you know. She was a nerdy person, and she got by pretty well because she was smart and she was nerdy, you know, very book smart. And I read a lot of books. I actually read the books that she put down. So I would be reading. I remember I was like 13 and I was reading stuff like Shogun, you know, the whole series, like thick ass books like that. I was reading King Rat. I was reading Hemingway. I was reading, you know, A Movable Feast, you know, at 12 or 13 years old. So I read Dune when I was 14. So yeah, I was a nerd. But I tried to fake it, like I wasn't, you know. I had the long hair, I had the whole thing, so we all pretended like we're not nerds, but we really are. And now we're nerding out with all this stuff. Yeah, I kind of like outdoor dining. Yeah, me too, Nelson. Look this awesome weather. We've got our little back patio set up. I should do another. Did you guys see that? If you ever want to catch like our patio, I did a series of videos where I'm building Roxy's Happy Hut. It's kind of boring watching me build something. But then I also have an original piece of music that I kind of renamed Howie Bean's song, the Johnny Bean's dog that passed away a couple years ago. I renamed that. I kind of dedicated that to Howie, because one night we were just on his show and live chatting, and he was at night. He was walking Howie out to take a pee or poo or whatever, walking him around, and he kept telling me, "Yeah, go ahead and put up some music. You know, just play something now. Do it now. Videotape yourself now to do your Veda, the vlog every day in April thing, in August. I think that was in August actually. So I think that was the first year I started to do more videos in 2018. Yeah, in that August. And he's like, yeah, just do a video now. Just play something. And I had some wine in me and stuff, so I was feeling good. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So I started playing that song that I wrote, and with Johnny Bean walking Howie in the background. It's hilarious. And then later I did a recording of that out in my patio. So if you want to see, look under my playlist that says original music, and there's the Howie Bean song, and then there's one where I'm talking a bunch before it, I think, and then there's one where I'm just playing the song. So do that one where I'm just playing the song. But you can see part of our patio. I've got a nice, like, you know, what do you call it, gazebo kind of thing, and like a tent style kind of gazebo thing with some outdoor furniture and some, you know, I got all the grill stuff, and I can't wait for the outdoor dining to come back. And it's coming back now. Look, the weather's beautiful outside now. It's like, isn't it the first day of spring? Let me look it up. I was going to look that up. I think it was yesterday or today. Who can tell me? If you can tell me before, I can find it myself. First day, spring 2021 is, come on, Google, you're slow. Come on, man, you're so slow. Yeah, that song was that Star Trek music, right? Well, what day is it? Yeah, it was yesterday. So Saturday, March 20th, yesterday, spring it's the first day of spring yesterday, and it was a beautiful blue sky day. I even threw up Where's Frankenvan video, and somebody won something. They're not in the chat, so he just emailed me, and I'm going to give him the opportunity to choose either some guitar strings, some maybe a strap, like a guitar strap, or a guitar tuner, like one of these. I got these like cheap Fender. We got several of those. Just give them one of those or whatever. They're not the best tuners, but hey, it's free. So yeah, today's the second day of spring. Yeah. Hey Laz, they were good videos of your patio yesterday, spring. Yeah, the patio. I threw up some videos of the patio, right? So yeah, I'm looking forward to some summertime stuff, and then I'll probably do the next cooking with Roxy video. I'll probably do a outdoor grill thing. Why not, right? My beard looks like it needs a trim. Kind of looks misshapen. Maybe it's just morning beard, right? Morning beard, whatever. Anyway, yeah, they're okay. They work. I mean, in a pinch, right? I tune by ear for the most part anyway, but I prefer to do that because that way I hate the look of these things sitting on a guitar. I hate that. Every time I see it up on a stage or whatever, I'm like, ugh. Anyway, put it on, take it off. I even came up with an idea one time that, you know, why don't we try to make these cool and get like some kind of a foam so it doesn't make it heavier, like little sleeve that you can put on. They can be like little characters. Like you can make a Pokemon one for the kids. You can make one that looks like a flame. One that's like a skull, you know, and that way it won't look so stupid. I have these stupid ideas all the time. Well, they may not be that stupid, but anyway. It could be a multi-million-dollar idea, and I'm just sitting on it doing nothing with it, right? Tuner. What would you call them? Tuner caddies, tuner. Like the foam. Like, where's this foam? It doesn't have to be the same foam as this stuff. This is like more rigid. It could even be like softer foam than this. But you just have it like it just basically fits over it, and it would cover the outside but leave the inside. And I would assume it would still work because this works off vibration. So if it's like I doubt it's going to throw off the accuracy of it. If it's like light foam, like the kind that they use to make a cushion in a seat, you know what I'm talking about, right? Anyway, well, Roxy basically, yeah, like that thing right there, the Barba Papa costume. Tuner cozy. There you go. Cozy. That's what, because this is a cozy, right? Beer cozy. So yeah, tuner cozy. But you'd have to like make them for the various different kinds. But the main ones, like there you go, like the Polytune. Maybe I'll just make one for the Polytune, and I'll make it like a skull, or I'll make it like a flame, or I'll make it like a Roxy, or make it into something. And I'll just go to Michael's. Maybe I'll do that for next week. Hey, Deja Vu, what's up? Snarks on the headstock is a Mark Agnesi pet peeve too. Dude, it's the ugliest thing. Maybe I should do like one for the Snark, one for the Polytune, or the Unitune, one for the Fender one. These are probably the most popular. And then you got the D'Addario ones. Those are also real popular too, right? And I'll just make these, I'll just start an Etsy store. Well, Reverb basically is owned by Etsy now, right? So I'll just do a Reverb store and sell little foam tuner cozies. I'll even do a Tessie switch one. That's another thing. You can do branding, right? It's a tone cozy. It's a tone tuner cozy. Bring the cool back into your tuner with a tone cozy. Right, Roxy? See? You just have like a little Roxy tuner thing, right? If she would just sit on top of it like this. Here you go. Can you do that, Roxy? Oh, she didn't want to stay there. Come back. I'm sorry. I'm using you as a prop. Isn't that terrible? Daddy's so mean. Yeah, I just can't stand the whole, you're up on stage playing with a headstock tuner on your guitar. Really? How nerdy is that? Nerd. That's what we should yell. Tuning. Yeah, tuning for nerds. Exactly. Right? You use a cork tuner. Do you have the clip-on kind like this, or you have the rack one, the real one, the one that has that long arc? That's so bitchin'. Yeah, I remember people back in the day. I think I even didn't. No, I didn't have one. A buddy of mine brought one over, so it wasn't mine. But yeah, the Korg pitch black or black pitch black tuner or whatever they call that big one. But yeah, that was a bitchin' tuner because you could see it, wherever you are on stage. If you're on a, not in like a big auditorium, but for the most part, you tune to whoever else you're playing with, right? So you want to make sure that everyone's, because different tuners will have a different, nerdy stuff again here. Different tuners are going to be a little bit different, right? So you can get into those arguments, and look what's happened to this rock and roll community here on YouTube and elsewhere. Even before YouTube, you had guitar nerds arguing in forums about all kinds of stuff. You should just call them out. Nerd, stop arguing about stuff. Just pick up your guitar and play, nerd. Don't be such a nerd, dude. Yeah, Pooh knows what I'm talking about, right? Pooh's probably nerding out all about that guitar. That thing's even got nerdy. Check out the nerdy stuff on that thing. Check this out. I mean, if this is not Nerdsville, what is? Look, I've got a memory foam style. It's not memory foam, but it's a foam style, guitar strap. So it's comfy because, of course, you got to be comfy, right? as you're playing, you know. And then look how nerdy this thing is. It's got these buttons that push, not even push, pull. I mean, this is like, you know, Music Man or high-end, you know, equipment here. Hey, look at this nerdy thing. I mean, only a nerd comes up with that idea. A spoke wheel truss rod adjuster, so that's more easily done, you know. Not up here, right? Not up there. And then look at that. Look at that nerdy looking string tree. It's so high tech, so nerdy. And then nerding out again with the locking tuners. Some scientist developed them locking tuners. I mean, nerd, right? What a nerdy guitar. And then check this thing out. This has got nerd written all over it too. Look at this thing. I installed one of these on this thing. It's a switch lock. You guys know this thing? Just push it this way or that way like that, and it'll lock your switch so it won't come out of position when it's in that. When you have it up, it moves. Let's say you want to be in the second position, and you just lock it. Now, you can't knock it out. I'm yanking on this thing. You can't knock it out of position because it's locked. That's the most nerdy thing ever, right? And then they took that, you know, locking tremolo thing, and they well, this is not a locking one, but they went from the 6-screw to a 2-point tremolo. That's so nerdy. Oh yeah, and then you've got your special springs that don't make any sounds. That's even more nerdy, right? What about like guitars like this one over here? That's just, you know, no nerdy stuff in that thing. That's just knobs, potentiometers, pots, some wire wrapped around some magnets and strung through some funky. That Bigsby thing's the most nerdy looking thing on that, maybe. Even that doesn't look nerdy. It looks like, you know, looks pretty metal, like chunks of metal made for a purpose. Yeah, and look what's happened to music now. What has ruined music? What has, in many ways, right? What has ruined, like you've got these freaking devices like these, you know, harmonizers and crap like that, you know. I mean, no wonder Glenn Fricker is losing his toast over that stuff. I mean, that guy's about to have a heart attack, you know, because rock and roll has been taken over by nerds. All this computer freaking digitized stuff, everything's got to go from analog to digital. It's getting put into the computer world. I think AIs have already taken over. I think these artificial intelligence out there, AIs, they've already somehow brainwashed all these nerds. and they've changed everything. Rock and roll is not even cool. I mean, you can't even, I mean, that's the other problem, right? Rock and roll is not even cool anymore, man. Rock and roll's dead, they're saying. They're trying to kill the guitar. They're trying to kill rock and roll with all this stuff. Right? Yeah, fellow nerds are jealous of you and Pooh. And he really delivered for the guitar nerds with that axe. Yeah, he did. But he did add some coolness to it with the flame maple, you know, roasted maple neck and that top. Yeah. Mahogany back. Or body, anyway. Yeah. It's cool. Shiny parts. Shiny chrome parts. Yeah. Yeah, it is on us, Martin. It's on us to keep it alive. For sure, right? I'm not even following this on YouTube, so I'm following this on I'm following the chat here on, I don't know which one's faster. If I follow it on StreamYard, see? And that's another reason why my channel has suffered, because I can't waste the time like the rest of you nerds to like learn how to freaking video edit and do all this kind of stuff. Oh yeah, I think it looks to me like StreamYard is slower, isn't it? No, I have digital but got a tube amp last Black Friday. Yeah, right on, dude. Yeah. So my first amp ever was a fully analog Fender Deluxe, you know, reverb. So I inherited that. I didn't even know anything about it. Yeah, The first guitar I had was like this funky Telecaster that had been stripped. The finish was stripped, and it was just like raw wood, but it was ash. Because looking back on it, hey Janice, what's happening? All right, looking back on it, welcome to the nerd discussion here. Got 3 more minutes, or I guess 10 more minutes of talking, but yeah, I didn't know anything back then, and I had a piano in the house. That's all I had, and then I got this and my grandmother had one of them funky organs with the little switches and all that stuff and the buttons, and I used to play that, and had arpeggiating left hand. You hold the chord down and it arpeggiated, and you can play stuff on top of that, and had all these funky rhythms, bossa nova, samba, you know, whatever, all this funky stuff. No rock and roll in that thing though. Anyway, but I used to play all kinds of funky oom-pa-pa stuff on there. It was hilarious. But yeah, it was a blast. We used to go crazy with that thing. We'd have to, like, it was just going. But yeah, you have the standard edition. Yeah, the original 42. There were only 42 and a couple few boo-boos, I think, of that one. And I got number 9. Number 9 is cool. I dig number 9. Number 9. I live with number 9. And it's got a really nice flame on the body. Let me show that to you guys again, because the flame on the neck and the flame on the body, not all of them had such killer flame. I mean, look at the flame on that neck. It's just sick. Yeah, and it's got the Hitchhikers of the Galaxy. Number 42 is the answer to all the questions of the universe. But even the headstock, look at the flame on the headstock. Right? That's badass. And then even the, because, you know, it's capped, even the neck, it's got some pretty decent flame to it, right? Yeah, nice. And, you know, the mahogany body, I like that he went with this dark kind of, you know, almost, I don't know, what color would you call that? It's not red. It's a nice, like, dark bourbon color or something. I don't know. And then they just taped around the edge to give it that fake top look. But that's just basically the same mahogany. And then they have that veneered top. But yeah, this has a pretty nice flame on the body too. And I like how they matched it. So it's pretty nicely matched compared to some of the others. I think I got one of the better ones, really. And what was funny is I was trying a trick. I was trying to see if I held on to the very bitter end of the, like, I didn't pay them right away. I waited till the very end so they wouldn't send it until the very end, hoping I'd get number 20, hoping I'd get number 42 in case they were sending them out sequentially. But I got number 9, so I guess it was random. But yeah, I was hoping I could maybe somehow squeak out number 42 by waiting till the very, 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 very last. And it didn't work. But yeah, is that thing a nerdy thing or what? And now I'm totally nerding out on my Strat that I'm doing, right? So I got, let me grab this. Some of you may have seen this already. Some of you may not have seen it. But I'm going to be putting this in. I have not started it yet. Now, too much stuff going on today too. My mom asked me to go over and help her with something. So when I'm done with this, I'm going to be going over there at her place and helping her with some stuff. So the Vega-Trem, and this thing's badass, you guys. So, you know, this will drop into any Stratocaster, right? And you won't have to modify it, but you'll get about as close to a Floyd as you can get without a real Floyd. And what's cool is it's got this really heavy, I think it's stainless steel, but really heavy steel, you know, block here that's made so that when you have your guitar, you know, it's flush over the body floating. It's kind of at an angle so that you can pull up, right? You can pull up on it. So the design is meant so that you can pull up, pull back, you can dive bomb, do all that crazy stuff. You don't have to adjust, you know, change the pocket in any way. And then you've got the push-in type trem arm, right? To get my face out of there, otherwise it's gonna. Yeah. So anyway, very cool, very, very cool. So I still have to, I need about a half a day because I'm really slow with doing, I'm not like an expert at this stuff. So I'm really slow with stuff like, I want to take my time and I really need to clean that guitar up. So I'm going to, first thing I'm going to do, where is it? Over here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these old strings off, obviously. One's already broken off. And I'm going to, polish the fretboards, nicely dress the fret ends, just give them that ball bearing, treatment. Clean it up some, put some new strings on, and then do a video of me playing this thing through all 5 positions, through the Black Star and the AC30, just to give a couple different amps, how it sounds through them, and then I'm gonna put the Vega-Trem on with the same strings still on there, and do the same exact thing, so you have an exact comparison with or without the Vega-Trem, right? And then I'm gonna remove the pick guard and just put that one away. And then I'm going to repopulate this with a brand new pick guard with the Vinum Rampage pickups in it. And I'm going to be installing a Tele switch, so I have to route out the body to fit the Tele switch because I want to put it here. I want to put it like right about here somewhere. What am I doing? Somewhere around here. Maybe right around here, like that. So that if I want to do some of that kind of, kill switch stuff while I'm playing the strings, up here, kind of do that Morello kind of stuff. But instead of a switch, have the button. So I have the gamer button. And then, of course, I'm going to put the what do they call it? The switch lock on it as well. So I'm nerding out. I'm going to nerd out on that thing, man. Totally nerd out. The only thing that I'm not going to nerd out with on that is I'm not going to have any built-in effects or push-pull or nothing like that. It's just going to be just the switch. Maybe I could do push-pull, but I already bought the pots for it. So I bought some Bourne's pots. I bought a bunch of 500K Bourne's pots. Oh, yeah, totally going to nerd out on the what do you call it? Already got those Mojo Tone treble bleed circuit. Kind of, just install that in there with there too. I've got my little nerd, I'm building my little nerd shack up in the storage upstairs. So that's the other thing I still need to finish, is moving stuff from the one storage that has a window to the other storage that doesn't, so I can do work in the one with the window, so I can vent out the exhaust, the poisonous toxic stuff. No wood needs to remove. No, Dale. So the whole point of the Vega-Trem is you just drop it in, and you don't have to do any extra routing of the already existing standard Strat pocket. So if you want to get more info on that, watch RJ's video about it like a few weeks ago. He did, I think 2-3 weeks back now. He did that on his live stream, in his Saturday morning live stream. And that's what got me to finally buy that, because I'm like, oh, that's the one last nerdy thing I need to get for that guitar. I gotta get that. if I'm gonna change up the pickups, because that's what started that. So I wasn't gonna change. Those pickups sound great. Actually, those pickups are kind of like an already hotter PAF. So they're kind of like a PAF style, but humbucker, and they're fairly hot. I think they are Alnico 5. I've been digging more into it, and I think they're Alnico 5, so they're a little hotter from what I understand. And at first I thought they were either 2s or 4s, and then recently I'm looking into it, and I think they're 5s. And I think they're basically tone-wise, I think they're kind of like made to be like the Shawbuckers. So they're basically Shawbuckers, I think. That's the other thing. Pooh, I do not have Graphtec nut. I bought some bone nuts. So if I really want to get nerdy, maybe I should buy some Graphtec, because that guitar is supposed to be black parts, black and white, and well, it's supposed to be like, it's going to have the cream Vinum pickups in it though. But yeah, maybe I should get maybe I should get some Graphtec nuts, because that's nerding out, right? I got to nerd out all the way. Thanks, Pooh. I should give you one of these, huh? Hold on. Where are you, man? I have to do this on YouTube, don't I? I'm going to add you as a moderator. Yay! So you got a wrench now, dude. Just because you're asking people to give thumbs ups. And did you get it? There you go. Pooh's got a wrench. Right on. Yeah. When you belt sand them, yeah, bones, yeah. When you cut them with when you're cutting into bone with a chainsaw. Oh, the smell. That's so messed up. Leatherface. Check that out. Yeah, I got that, and I bought that at what's his name's? What's that guy down in Tarzana, or what's that place? Norman's Rare Guitars. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna do the sound comparison Blackjack Guitar Net, exactly. So I'm gonna just put new strings on that thing after I clean it up. I'm gonna clean it up nice, put new strings on it, so that way everything's the same. Then I'm gonna drop the Vega-Trem in there and do a sound comparison and like sustain comparison with it, you know, with through the AC30 and through the Black Star, both tube amps, and I'm gonna crank them, and so you can get some good sustain and see the sustain difference. I'll time it like a nerd, you know. Oh, you're funny, Pooh. and then I'm gonna don't give Pooh a wrench. He's gonna get like, he's gonna go. What do the guys say in Pulp Fiction? I'm gonna get medieval on you, on this guy. Get medieval on his ass. He's gonna go medieval on you all, so be good. With the band hammer. he's gonna get that samurai sword out, man. He's gonna go medieval on you and all that, you know. Anyway, so be good. But yeah, shit, we got a ditch here. I think Mike is starting a show, CGS Mike, so go catch him. Roxy Raid into CGS's show. I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna Roxy Raid in there. Let me see. How do I do that? I gotta find Mike. Where's Mike? Mike, supposed to pop up on my thing. What? Mike? Oh, snap! That's what they say back in the hood. Oh, snap! Right. So Mike doesn't have a show for another hour. So we can go for another hour, but my wife's gonna kill me. So is my mom, because I got to go over her place and help her out with some stuff. But yeah, the Fender baseball bats were kind of cool. It's not a little pricey, kind of a guitar nerd's trogly. Bought a few. Yeah, baseball neck. You can take a baseball bat and make a neck out of it, and then you got a Fender baseball neck, right? That's what I should do. That would be like super nerdy, right? Take an actual baseball bat and make a guitar out of it. Would that be weird? I don't know if that's possible. Stupid ideas, I know. So yeah, the time is not switched there yet. Exactly, Martin. Thank you. So we don't have to worry about running out. I can go make another coffee. Can I go make another coffee? Dudes, I'm gonna go make another coffee. I'll be right back. All right. Roxy, entertain the folks. Here. You can stand on there. No, she's not gonna stand on there. I'll be right back. Give me a second. I'm gonna start my coffee. Gotta have more coffee. I'm gonna go another hour. All right, we got the coffee on. Coffee is going. Right? Yeah, so yeah, we can go long if you guys want. Talk amongst yourselves. Exactly. Gary, didn't I give you a wrench a long time ago? What happened to your wrench, dude? Let me see. I'm gonna look that up. What's going on with Gary? Yeah, you still have your wrench. Cause see, I'm looking at the chat here in StreamYard, but I got my phone. You guys see my? You guys got to get one of these. If you don't have one of these, it's like a phone. Let's put it in the shot. It's like a phone holder or tab holder. You can put anything on this thing. It'll hold anything. It's got a very tough to turn kind of tight hinge, and it's awesome. And let's say you have a bigger tab, even like a large tab. I saw it at this lady's house I was doing some work for. And you know, what's great is that, you know, you can, while your device is on there, you can turn it and it'll hold anything. It won't fall. It's called a Lamicall. They're like $10 on Amazon. They're great. I bought 3 of them. I love it. So what's great is that, you know, you can have your phone on here, right? And you could be tapping at it. It's not going to fall over. It's not going to knock it over or knock it down. It holds it really good. And it's got a wide enough, you know, base part here where it'll hold a thicker device, even a tab that's got a cover on it or whatever, like I have all my other tabs. But I love this thing because, you know, I can like just be scrolling through and tapping on it and stuff, and I don't have to like lean it against something. And I know there's some other ones out there, but none of them are as sturdy and as heavy duty as this. And this will definitely hold up to anything, even a large like iPod, you know, big one even. That lady had iPods. So yeah, it's great. It's just like right in front of you. It's perfect. It's a perfect thing. Oh, you're leaving, Martin? Later's on, dude. Have a great day. It's Sunday, second day of spring. Hopefully it's beautiful out there. It's beautiful over here. Yeah, and we'll be going to Europe next year. Just so you know, next summer or end of summer, early fall, we're gonna go to Europe. Maybe even in the springtime. I don't know. We'll see. We have a lot of stuff planned. We're planning to have some, you know, relatives of Ladani's or her sister and brother-in-law are visiting us in September. So we're gonna have some definitely some road video stuff and vlogging, and they're gonna be here for 3 weeks. We're gonna take them all over wherever we can, you know. And then wintertime, we might go to Peru and visit her mom for Christmas. So first time going to Peru in our winter is their summer. So lots of mosquitoes and it's crazy. And yeah, this Hungarian holidays. Pooh, you're hilarious. The Hungarian holidays are the same as everywhere else in Europe, pretty much, except they have a few special ones. Like they just had Március 15, which means March 15th. That was when the Habsburgs were pushed out. So the Habsburg Austrian Martin's left, so he can't talk shit about it now. but yeah, when the Habsburg dynasty or whatever, the you know, everything was the monarchy. Well, the monarchies back then. They were in control of Hungary for quite a while, in a sense. They combined forces with the Hungarians to push the Turks out of Hungary, and so the Hungarians and the Austrians were, you know, pretty close in that sense. But the Hungarians gained their total anonymity and freedom from Austria at one point, and so March 15th we celebrate that. And what's funny is that for a long time you could not toast with a beer with someone. Like Hungarians would never toast a beer ever, but recently, because it was 100 years after that 100-year period ended, we can toast with beer now. So we're allowed to toast with beer. Tessie switch, of course, is going into, and I'd show you those parts, but they're all upstairs in the makeshift little shop that I'm making. I'm making a little guitar workshop up there, and I'm gonna eventually have everything set up, you know, with the, because I have 2 interfaces. So I'm gonna have one up there. I've got to get because I don't want to trust Wi-Fi. I even have the, you know, hardwired into this laptop here, the internet, because I'd rather go with the hardwire rather than trust the Wi-Fi, because my wife could then go online and start using her laptop and then it just messes everything up. So I'm hardwiring everything. I'm going to hardwire up into that room as well, and that way I can you know, do some streaming and do some video up in there. I need to get some lights, and I want to get an ATEM Mini. I want to get one of those, and I'm going to use it up there and down here, but I'm going to have it mostly up there kind of set up with these little Wise cameras or Wiz cameras, because these are 1080p. They're only 15 frames per second, but they're 1080p, and for still shot kind of stuff, it'll be plenty good, you know, to have that running, and I can just switch from one camera to the other, and eventually I might get another, you know, higher quality camera. I don't know if I'm ever going to go to the DSLR, like high-end stuff. I'll have to start making money on YouTube before I do that, because that's freaking expensive. So nerding out on equipment, here we go, talking about that now, right? We're talking about cameras, we're talking about digital, you know, editing on, oh god, all this stuff just makes my brain hurt just thinking about it. I just don't want to do it. All right, Pooh, scoot away, you little, you're gonna leave a brown skid mark as you make your way out. I just think his name's the best, Pooh Ninja, and then he's got Darth Vader as the as his icon, or whatever you call that thing, avatar. Yeah, that would be pretty funny. I don't think she could bear the weight of a camera. She's pretty light. She could barely handle the costume, the Barber Papa costume. She doesn't like that. She doesn't like that at all. Oh man, yeah. So yeah, aren't we all nerding out all this stuff? But I mean, you know, Gary's probably the farthest from a nerd in this whole chat here, right? Dale, you're probably a nerd, right? Gary's like a Viking nerd. He's like using pieces of crystal and stuff to navigate by the moon and stars and sun from the old Viking lands, finding America. The Vikings found America first. Well, actually, people in you know, upper whatever you want to call that, the what was it called on Risk, the game? Kazakhstan or because something or another. There's like that region up there of Russia and Upper China, right? They were the first ones that found America because they were already here in the Americas, both north and south, right? They went across that land bridge. Hey, Halface, dude, what's up? Right on, keep on working. Yeah, I do that all the time. Yeah, Kamchatka. Yeah, Kamchatka. That's what it is, Kamchatka. Did you look it up or did you know? BC Rich, you rock. Right on. Thanks for joining, you guys. But yeah, nerdy Viking. There you go. There's nothing wrong with being a nerdy Viking. So we're so nerdy, and we've been, like I was saying earlier too, the nerds took over the world, man. Look what's going on. They've got AIs controlling the world now too, right? I mean, this whole social media nightmare that's kind of causing all kinds of havoc around the world. Nerds created that. They thought they were all smart and stuff. They thought that, you know, their machines could be under their control, but now the machines are controlling everything, right? No, you can't go down my you can't go down my shirt, Roxy. I'm not gonna let you. No, go away. She wants to go down here and get all cozy in my hairy Hungarian chest. It's like a nest in there, you know. Yeah, they gave you a PhD for more than just my looks and charm. There you go. And someday I'll probably get that as well in psychology. I still have an ambition to finish my degree in psychology and music therapy and you know, a PhD. So yeah, I'm a nerd. And that's why I call this Music Therapy Laz, because not just because it's therapy for me and you and everyone, right? Because music is probably the most life-saving therapy that's out there that people talk about much, you know. It has kept so many people from killing someone else or each other, you know. But then again, it was used, the beating of the drums and music was used sometimes to, you know, rally the troops too, right? But yeah, music is good for the most part, right? So we are definitely nerds, tech nerds, gear nerds, guitar nerds. Gamers are like nerds too, right? Sitting in front of a screen all day. How nerdy is that? I remember back in the day when we had our Atari, you know, game board, or game. Like I actually have one. That's another nerdy thing. So I had another nerdy friend that I became friends with in my psychology and biological my biology classes. So anatomy and all that kind of stuff. You have to take all that stuff for, you know, sort of psychology. So you understand, you know, brain chemistry and neurophysiology and all that stuff. So neurophysiology too. Super interested in, you know, how that all works and the plasticity of the brain and all this that we've been learning about. I'm always fascinated with that and fascinated with the whole aliens thing. You know, did we come from other star systems and we're transplanted here? Did we really, you know, there's the missing link. Why is there a missing link? Maybe because we didn't completely fully develop just from what was here on the planet. Maybe some of this was planned out. I definitely a skate rat, that's for sure. Dude, totally. Check this out. What was your first board, dude? My first board was a no-name, kind of funky-looking fiberglass thing that was black and orange and yellow. It might have been wood. Actually, I think it was plywood of some kind, and it was like a no-name thing. And I think I had that when I was 8 years old. So that would have been back in 1974. 1974, dude. That was my first board, skateboard. Had no name on it. And then later, my first one that I ever purchased with my own, like saved up money, or I, you know, got little bits and stuff. I might have gotten it as like I asked for it as a present, but then I changed up things like the wheels and the trucks on it. So I had independents on it. They're still being used today, right? Independent trucks. And then, God, what were the wheels? I had those like, they didn't make the neon ones yet. They kind of had like those orange ones, those orangey pink colored ones. God, what were the names of those wheels? And then, you know, you got the best, I forget the ball bearing. I forget all this stuff already. It's been so long, but, you know, back when I was like a preteen or teen, I might have been, I was a preteen. I was like 10, 11, and 12. I was so into it. And I had a Panda bike too. I had a bike with the shocks on the front. They looked like, you know, shocks. I had the Panda bike. That was the badass, like BMX bike. I used to do all the BMX tricks. I broke so many, well, I almost broke bones, but I broke my 2 front teeth. So these aren't real. The front teeth there, I'm like Tyson if I pull those out, which I'll never do on screen, by the way. Never. My mom used to run around and scare us with her teeth out like a witch, because she lost her teeth mostly because of malnutrition when they were coming from hungry. As you know, they were, God, I think it was 2 years they were waiting, you know, and then they finally made it here. But they were in not concentration camps. What am I saying? Concentration camps. They were in refugee camps in Europe, in southern Eastern Europe, I think. I think they eventually made it from Slovakia to Czechoslovakia. But were they in Slovakia or Serbia? They went through the south, so they went through Serbia, and I can't remember where they ended up, but it was outside of the Iron Curtain at that point, so they had to escape through the southern borders. And then she was a girl, so she was young. She was like 10 or 11. She made it here in the States when she was 12. But yeah, we used to modify our bikes and everything. Dude, yeah. I even designed a pedal. So get this. I'll make a quick drawing for you because I'm so nerdy. Let me grab a pencil. I have a pencil here somewhere. Wait a minute. It's probably right here on my nerdy shirt. No, I have my nerd shirt thing all set up here for that picture that I did. Oh, forget about it. So anyway, there were these pedals. So this is how I designed that. So I actually crashed doing a tabletop over some tires. We were stacking tires and see how many we can tabletop over off of a jump, right? And my I don't remember if it was my foot or the pedal or what, but something caught on the lip of the tire on the downside, right? And I just crashed, and it bent the pedal. So we're not talking guitar pedal, but so the pedal would be straight, right? And it bent it kind of. Okay, let me see if I can do it. Kind of. God, I can't do it. So it bent it up like this. The edge of it bent up, and I thought, from then on, that side of that pedal would hold my foot really well because it was kind of curved. So how do I do this? It was kind of curved like that on the end, so your foot wouldn't slide out so easily. So I actually I drew a design of it and everything, and I'm trying to remember what was the name of the brand of that pedal, but it was the really cool ones that were like anodized, kind of aluminum or metal or something like that. Anyway, it was really cool, and I came up with the name of the claw, the pedal claw, the eagle claw pedal, or the claw pedal or whatever, and never went anywhere. I was only 14 years old, so no one took me or my mom, or I was trying to tell my mom, this is my pedal design, and I was getting all nerdy. Anyway, hey Preston, dude, you're in. What's up? See who else is here that I haven't noticed. Let me check out the chat. Yeah, the general theory of relativity. You can't send matter across the universe unless you have a million years to kill it. A power plant says small star. I agree. So, and yes, that's the interesting thing to me too, Preston. I mean, BC Rich. We have these arguments all the time, right? When it comes to really realistically physical universe stuff. None of the stuff is possible that we see on TV, like movies and star travel and all that kind of stuff. None of it's really, the whole wormhole thing. I mean, you'd have to be dismembering your particles and rebuilding like a transporter kind of idea thing. I mean, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that that's gonna work. If you can like have a particle of light in one place in the universe and the other at the same time. So there's that other argument too about, protons having been measured to be, they were able to do an experiment, I guess, where the same particle presumably was in two places at the same time. That's kind of like one of these weird like time warp wormhole idea things. But yeah, to have the ability, the power of like, to be able to do this kind of stuff is pretty unfathomable to our minds anyway. But, we've only been working on modern science for the last couple hundred years, really, maybe 300 years or so. If you want to start with the advent of, say, like, using a piece of crystal glass to now create a better telescope, as maybe, I don't think the discovery and creation and making of fire is really science yet. I think, the discovery of the elements for the most part and how to be able to use them, that's the beginnings of science, as well as, power, being able to harness power. Most of it was kinetic energy, right? Using kinetic energy, but now we're able to harness things like electricity, which we still don't 100% really understand. We do how it functions, but we can't really explain it, right? It is what it is, but they just call it, what it is. But the movement of electrons and whatnot, from one thing to another. So we understand it to a degree. We understand how it works and how it functions, but do we really understand it? We haven't figured out, how to harness gravity yet. And it looks like there were people in the past that did. So I'm getting nerdy on y'all. People in the past were able to figure out some things that we may have lost the knowledge and technology of, right? Yeah. Yeah. Gravity drives, right? Well, they are working on even using mini black holes. They're creating, like here in Livermore Labs too, Lawrence Livermore Labs, where they have the Giant Hadron Collider, right? They were working on stuff like creating a black hole and using like a a controlled mini black hole as a power source on starships. So that's kind of the idea, right? So now we're getting into tricky stuff here, right? Right? It might be sooner than we might think, but we're still trying to launch ourselves out into the atmosphere using a freaking exploding device. We're still, watching all this rocket technology. They're still trying to launch out via rocket technology, basically fuel, tons of heavy fuel that we have to use to launch ourselves out of here, out of our atmosphere. So we're still nowhere. We're so far from really being able to do like in Buck Rogers in the 20th century, where you just have a little ship that comes down like a plane and then goes back up, and like a UFO kind of, just moves around space by, whatever energy source, but they don't, seem to have as much trouble getting up and out into the atmosphere. And like, what was that guy, Buzz Aldrin, I think, or what, when he, in The Right Stuff, you see them doing that in the movie, where he actually takes a jet plane and just decides to, with that jet plane, get up out of the atmosphere, and apparently he made it, and so you can get up there with a regular plane as well, right? But then what? Shields, heat shields and all, right? What are you saying? Step 2, the sheiks. You got to get the sheiks in the box and then put a star in the box and free energy for quite a while. Yeah, and then there's the whole idea of using, solar sails, solar energy once they're up and out of there. It's interesting stuff, man. All this Star Trek nerdy stuff. Here we are nerding out. We're not even talking about guitars and gear anymore. We're nerding out on Star Trek stuff. Yeah. Spitification awaits on the black hole entrance, right? Exactly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it doesn't take a genius like Hawking's even to understand that if you go through a black hole, you're going to come out not the same as you went in. Black hole is basically a collapsed star, people. It's a solid object that has such a gravitational force that's even pulling light. So it's not something you go through. It's something you go at. And then once you get there, you're... That's it. Sorry about headphones wearers with that clap there. But yeah. Yeah, and exactly what Preston was saying way up there is, if a species could generate wormholes, they would look at us the way we would look at ants. We can we can't communicate with ants, can we? We can poison them and kill them. That's it. I mean, we can barely communicate with the other more, similarly intelligent beings on this planet to some degree. But, yeah, do we care about whales and how smart they are? We were, using them for fuel for a long time. The blubber of the whale, that was the #1 industry back in the, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th century, right until we discovered oil in the ground that we can then pump, and then gases and things like that we can then pump, because we developed technology to do all that stuff, right? So, yeah, we're still far away. We're still blowing things up for power for the most part, right? Not entirely. So we do have like elevated trains and things like that they're using electricity, but where are we getting the electricity? Most of it is still from heating up something with the power of the sun. Probably the closest thing that we're getting that's not using, some exploding thing, are the wind turbines, because the wind turbines are actually just spinning, the generator, right? It's spinning that so that we can create that electrical, they create the electricity that from the brush. I don't know if they're using brushes on the drum or what. I don't know the precise terms for all this stuff. You guys, I'm not an electrical engineer, but using the magnet and the magnetic, steel and all that, and copper wiring, and getting the electricity, I guess, harnessed and flowing that way, right? Creating it that way. That seems to be the highest level of technology outside of, say, some kind of cold fusion idea or something like that, right? And well, nuclear power. All right, so we got the nuclear. But what is nuclear power doing? You're again creating something that's creating heat to then, create the steam to pressurize the generators that are turning. So basically, we're trying to find a way to turn something so that we can get it to, we don't have the flux capacitor yet, is what I'm saying. We haven't developed the Mr. Fusion on top of the car yet, right? So we're still burning things to create power. So pheromone emissions could probably be replicated. Yeah. Well, there you go. Hobo Rody, hello. Thanks for joining. Absolutely, you're probably right. That's see, now you're talking about science in an area that most of us don't know anything about. And yeah, and we could probably create, just like, for Stephen Hawking, they created a computer program that can understand, what he was thinking. He could type it out, or, without typing, he was able to get his thoughts across into a machine. If we can get a dolphin to talk to us through a computer, now there you go. Now we can start talking to dogs. We can set put a little hat on Roxy, and she could talk to me through a computer, right? Tell me what she's thinking. What are you thinking, Roxy? What are you thinking? What are you thinking? You love Daddy? You love me? Yes, I love you too. Yes, I do. She'll mimic me. When I'm coming home and she hasn't seen me all day and she's totally crazy for me, she'll go, right, she'll copy that exact sound. She can do that. She doesn't talk, but she can go. Why don't you talk to me? Give me kisses. Anyway, we went long here. Good 1 hour and 38 minutes so far. Not sure if I should keep going, or should I keep going, or should I end it? Let me go get my coffee that I made. I'll come back and then we'll keep going. Whoa. Relax. About an extra hour. Yeah, because I forgot the mic show is not coming out for an hour later. Roxy went to mommy. She's done with me here. So this is actually from the city of Baja, not Baja. That's the southern city of Hungary where my mom is from. I'm being careful not to. And that building right there, that is the hotel. That's a historical building in Hungary, and it was designed by my grandfather's grandfather. Built, and they were mayors and landholders, and I don't know if they were nobles or not. But what is interesting is I found out that my dad, his family, I don't know the entire history of it, but Laszlo, the name, and the last name Lengel, so my last name Lengel means Polish. That's the name of my dad's family. Laszlo Polish would be like Ladislaus Polish, or Lancelot Polish would be my name if you did it in the British English. But the Europeans called Laszlo Ladislaus. But he was actually born in Poland, and it was a big hoo-ha because their family had to escape because of, I guess, an invasion of what they call the Pechenegs, so some other Eastern Ural Mountain like invaders in Hungary. And so, but they came back into Hungary and took power. He and his Solomon, his brother, vied or fought for, the right to the kingdom of Hungary. And so Laszlo, King Laszlo, or Ladislaus, he came from Poland. So my last name, Laszlo Lengyel, Laszlo Polish. Lengyel meaning Polish in Hungarian. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if I might have royal blood. Could be. Could be true. Could be total BS. Anyway, so what are you guys talking about? We have named our dogs and never used a name for it again. Phone. Cat Luke Footstalker. That's so funny. I love that. Yeah, total Star Wars nerds. We were talking about the Star Wars nerd thing. Deja vu, yeah. The total nerd fest on everything. So we're nerding out on everything today, not just gear. So yeah. So hey, if anyone's in the chat that wants to see the Vega-Trem, I'll show it again, but just hang tight, give me another week or two, and then I'll have everything all done up there in the little makeshift workshop. And then I'm gonna work on. I gotta just clean that guitar and drop the Vega-Trem in it after I do a video or two of that guitar. I'm gonna do like and I have to learn how to do video editing by that time too. So let's see, there's something about Germanic people. My Pole Pop's name is more Germanic sounding, Bor, like our nerdy mate Niles. Why cats, dogs learn so many tricks, but shut the fuck up has no response, right? Well, some dogs they'll behave. You got to start with them early, Pooh. But we should have gotten more tricks down Roxy's sleeve before. I mean, she might still be able to learn some tricks. She's only a couple years old this summer. Yeah, radon guitar meets science. Yeah, is he live? You guys want to do that? Yeah, go ahead and go there because Mike's not going to be up for another 20 minutes. Guitar skeptic Mike, right? And I got a message here from somebody. Oh, nothing else. David and Helenka. Oh, okay. Guess I gotta do some work here at the apartments too. The owners asked me to call some people to show them the unit. Anyway, we might do that. Anyway, yeah, you guys can Roxy raid into wherever you want to go. I want to go bowling again. Yeah, they're starting to open up some bowling alleys again too. Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Sign language. American Sign Language. The Yellow Lab speaking English and American Sign Language. That's very cool. So they're smart enough to understand your sign language, which would make sense because they use body language and stuff like that, you know, themselves. All right, amongst their little packs or whatever. But yeah, all this talk about nerding out on stuff and technology. So yeah, it seems like, and then you look at like what else is like the fight between the nerds. So maybe we should do like the guitar nerds versus the guitar purists. So I guess the guitar purists are more the not nerdy people, like the plug it straight into the amp kind of dudes, right? Maybe with a couple analog foot pedals, but you know, that's not nerdy. But if you've got one of those, what do they call those funky simulators and all that? So you got all the Line 6 stuff like my HX Stomp, and you know, using computers like, you know, Rax effects and all that instead of real amplifiers. You know. So yeah, the nerds have taken over rock and roll, man. It's gone. It's over. It's dead. It's now owned by the nerds. We're all nerds. It's all good. Doorbells on TVs also can suck my. Hey, kids, we're back. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, they have like you have to have like 2 or 3 lanes in between the other lanes, right, Dale? If you want to go Nelson, I think it was, that wants to go bowling. Or was it Dale? Who was it saying that they want to go? Yeah, it was Nelson, right? Yeah. Yeah, the reflection of light particles, Nelson. Oh, okay, I'll look into that. Like I have time. I don't. Don't have time for it. But yeah, that's another thing too. Yeah, I think our technology has surpassed our ability to even understand it to some degree. You know, there are a few that understand it and use it and are getting rich off of it. You know, and the rest of us are just being controlled by it in some way or another, even if it's subliminally or however you want to call that. You know, we're subliminally being controlled by all this stuff. We don't even know it. But one thing I learned in my psychology course is we had a really interesting teacher, this guy Jim Clifford at CSM, College of San Mateo. He was, I think, one of the scientists, if not, I think it was the head of the neuropsychology department of NASA or whatever for several years, or he worked with them or something. Anyway, so he knows shit. You know, he actually invented that thing that you put on the brain to like measure the brain waves through magnetic resonance or whatever it is, electrical impulses. So he developed that. He's the guy who made that. He invented it. And everything else, you know, everyone else has come up with their own versions of that since then. But he was the one who invented that. So smart guy. And he plays a Strat. Nerd! Guitar nerd! But bottom line is that we were discussing in one of our courses about, you know, evolutionary biology and how not just like how we evolved, but neuropsychologically how we evolved and how we function. You know, when I'm talking neuropsychologically, I'm talking about how our brain thinks and how it works. And it's rather shocking and scary to many to accept this, but though we think we're conscious behavior is like high up on the percentage, we're consciously aware and everything we do we consciously think of and do, is not true. A majority of our daily functioning and everything that we're doing is automatized behavior, and it's something that's become automatic. So when I say automatized, that means like when you first learn to ride a bike, it takes quite a while, and then once you've got it down, it's automatized. It's now automatic. Just like walking. How long did it take us to learn to walk? Swimming, all these things, right? It's not necessarily instinctual like a bird taking flight, right? And that's another really interesting thing too, right? That's in the DNA. It's in the DNA for a bird to know how to fly, right? Fascinating, right? So this automatized subconscious behavior, all this stuff that's going on, almost 80 to 85% of our like functioning is, if not more, is automatic. Like I'm not thinking about breathing. A lot of my behaviors, coffee, drinking, when eating, all this stuff, just try to change one of your behaviors. For example, try to change something. Look how hard it is to do that. Why do we struggle so hard to learn something? You know, because it takes time. It's, you know, but once we know how to ride a bike, it's not that hard. Yeah, the more specific muscle, you know, memory stuff, just like playing, a lot of you guys who play live are going to be finding out real quick when you start to hit the stage that, oh shit, I'm rusty, because you haven't been doing it for as long. I think it was even Dan of that pedal show was talking about how, man, he hasn't like played through a whole song from beginning to end in over a year because he hasn't gigged, and he was like cramping up a little just playing through one song. It's like, okay, so you got to get back into, you know, into that when it comes to your body and everything, right? Muscle memory and all that, and building up the muscle strength and all that. You don't just go to sprinting right away and win the race. You have to ramp up, right? And if you're not, you know, if you're not up to tour level, you're not going to make it. You got to practice, and you got to be playing all the time. You got to be playing sets, and that's the difference between us guitar geek nerdy, you know, wannabe, you know, what, bedroom rockers, like I was saying, is, you know, try to play a whole set, play a 12-song set, play it all the way through, see if you can make it. right? So yeah, yeah, we're soft, man. We're nerds. Anyway, so I think I'll end it here, you guys. What do you think? We're almost at the 2 hour mark, and yeah, I should go get Roxy. Roxy, why did you leave? Yeah, I have some other mods planned too. The next one I probably want to mod is this thing. Just I was watching RJ Ronquillo. Oh no, was it? No, it wasn't RJ Ronquillo. It was Jay Leonard J talking about putting a Bigsby, and there's a kind of Bigsby you can put on these that you don't have to drill holes for. You can like clamps onto the, I don't know, something funky like that. And he also switches his switch plates the reverse way so that you can have your volume where you want it, you know. And I remember Phil McKnight talking about another kind of switch plate that has an angled selector on it, selector switch, so that you can actually hit it a little easier, and so I might just get a different plate for this one too and reverse it. I don't know if I'll put push pulls or not. This one has a little mini switch for the toggle switch there for the humbucker splitting. So I might just keep that. Maybe I'll just put new pots in this one and a new switch selector, and just flip this one like Jay Leonard J. But check out his channel, and yeah, he's way into the Bigsby's or like some other type of Bigsby type um, you know vibrato arm. They properly call it a vibrato arm, right? Onto this thing because I just like to have the vibrato. So yeah, check out Jay Leonard J's show because that guy's way cool. I'm on Patreon there too, and totally appreciate like his style and playing. Very creative player. He just plays like he's a monster. So yeah, so let's end it, you guys. Get your gear, get your nerdy devices out and nerd out. Do some mods to your guitars. Enjoy all this nerdy crap, and whether you're into the computerized nerdy stuff, Axe Effects or whatever, have fun with it. They got me a Nashville Tele, nice, yeah, yeah. I think that's kind of designed after that idea too, right? These modern player ones, these deluxe ones, they're kind of similar, kind of Nashville Tele. And tell me, Deja Voodoo, what type of selector switch do you have in there? Do you have like a 5-way, or do you have a 3-way with a little toggle for the bridge? Do you split the bridge or no, or do you use a push pull pot? Or I might go push pull or push push because I kind of like how that guitar has the push push thing. So I kind of dig that. They're pretty tall though. They're pretty big. They're big like pots. So got to make sure that it fits. Yeah, with the 68 stacked. Oh, you're still here, Martin. Oh, dinner. Okay, cool. Yeah, have fun with the kids, the bedtime stories and all. The Pod HD 500X till I can afford a Helix. Yeah, dude. You know what? I gotta sell the thing. I have the floorboard and the old Pod Pro XP or whatever that thing was. I'm gonna sell that thing online. I'm going to sell a bunch of other stuff. I want to get a bunch of stuff sold out of here that I'm not using and then put that into something else. And I might even sell my captor, and I might even sell my my whatchamacallit, my cab, my 2 notes devices, and I might upgrade to something better. Like I might upgrade to like a Fryette power station because I want to get some heads in here and do it that way. And I think it would be better served to have a better attenuator like a Fryette. And then what else? Yeah, the Vibramate. That's what it is, right? And it works great. Yeah, right on, man. Thanks, Hellface. Yeah, that's what it is. I think that's the one Jay Leonard J was talking about. Yeah, the Vibramate. And then I want to get maybe the aux because I think if you're gonna get one of these kinds of these technologies, might as well get the best that you can. Yeah, the aux box. Yeah. So I'll probably get that, and so I'm just going to sell some gear and then upgrade some things to that. And you know, I've got the pod, I mean the pod, the Line 6 HX Stomp, and that does a lot. I've hardly even scratched the surface with that. And so I've got that with lots of my other pedals. I might sell a couple of my other pedals that I'm not really using. I don't need them. So why not sell them and then buy something I can use and that I don't necessarily, I don't need any of this stuff. But if I want to produce some music, then yeah, there's a kind of a need, right? And I just want to do it in a way that makes it easy and functional, and so I don't have to be too much of a nerd. You know, I don't want to have to read so many manuals and deal with all that side of it. So that's the nerdy side, right? Get back into playing more and nerding out less. What do you say to that? Right? All right, you guys. So thanks again. Just want to say, don't forget that the secret to tone is in the mind, the nerdy side. The feel comes from the heart. That's the rock and roll side, I think, or whatever. Put them together. Use your fingers, your toes, your tongue, your teeth, whatever else you can think of to make music with. Do it. You know, there was that guy who used to tap on his body. There you go. It's another way of making music, right? Put it all together, make some music, rock on, and see you guys next live stream. And I'm gonna be doing, oh, by the way, live stream plan. So I'm gonna put this together with our buddy, not Brad. Why am I? God, Kurt Stewart, Kurt S. I think it's Stewart. Kurt S. 5150 of the Johnny Bean clan. We're gonna probably go on together live. I'm not sure if Johnny Bean's gonna join us or not, but Thursday night, and I'm still trying to figure out a time for that. So I might do 5 o'clock. I might do 7 o'clock. I got to find out who else is on, and I'm just gonna try to do it around so we're not overlapping someone else that's part of the community. I try my best to do that. That's why I did this at 9:30 in the morning, so I'm not overlapping Mike. And yeah, thanks, Del. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for nerding out with me, and we're gonna continue nerding out. And look for that. I'll try to put the video up, like advertise it out there like ahead of time if I can, instead of just right before we start. You know, like most YouTubers put it out there, like, hey, the show is going to be in 2 days from now, like Guitar Hack does that. And eventually I'll get around to nerding out on how to use all this stuff to do like the video editing and put in, like, you know, a starting video with music or what. I don't know. I don't even know if I have to have more subscribers to do that or whatever, or pay StreamYard to do that. But yeah, whatever it takes, we're going to get there. All right, thanks again, you guys. Rock on. Thanks for nerding out with me, and we'll see you next time. Later.